Welcome home, Sidney. Preview of coming events.
Why don't you come for me? You got the balls for that?
Oh, poor Sidney. You think this is all about you? You think you're still the star?
This isn't a fucking movie!
It will be.
Sup, guys and gals, and today I'm gonna be talking about Scream 5. Yes, I know, I'm late, but it's finally happening. I did a video on Scream a few months ago when talking about Scream Season 3. However, don't get it twisted. I still want Scream 5 and 6. So while majority of people are thinking about Scream 5, I'm thinking about Scream 5 and 6. Now, I could just go over on what I want in Scream 5 again, but I'm going to try to give some new ideas on what I want in the movie, plus what other people want in the movie.
Alright then. On with the show.
Now, I've seen multiple people giving out their opinion on what they want, and I'm going to go over them. So let's start with number 1. And number 1 is a prequel. Yes, believe it or not, I've seen this online. This just would not make any sense. They say it's to follow Roman before Scream or Maureen Prescott and her sister in her Hollywood days. There were others, but I don't remember what they said, but I know they were just even worse than those two options I just stated. Think about it. The Ghostface costume that appeared because of the Stab movies, actually, scrap that. We're in the police station in Scream where the cop was talking to Dewey and said it's selling over the world. So I guess it could work because it has no date. It had no date to when it came out. But if a prequel would happen, that means they would have to film it like it was in the 80s or 90s again. Option number 2. Hold up. Oh yeah, see, it's coming back to me. There's 3 of these in the same category. So, number 2A is a sequel that follows the Ghostface trio. I'm taking ownership of that name, by the way. And there are new characters. I would like to see Gail and Dewey have a daughter and name her Tatum Riley II. And of course, she could have a nickname. I feel Tatum doesn't get a lot of love. I would say she was born in 2012, and seeing how the new Scream movie is not even pre-production yet, I don't expect it to be released till 2021 or even 2022. But regardless, that would make her 9 years old. I would like to see Gail and Dewey's parents show up in the film. You know, Dewey's mom showed up in the first movie, so obviously they're not going to get her, so they're probably going to recast her. But that's besides the point. Sidney will be a writer, will continue to write like the book she had in Scream 4, or, you know, she could be a therapist. The new Scream characters that appear in the movie should be seniors in high school. I don't want no stereotypes in none of these options, by the way. I want good character development, and I want to make Randy's sister's children a boy and a girl to be the main character, since I know Beth won't be Randy's sister's daughter, even though I still want that to happen. By the way, check out my last video. I wouldn't mind if they did that too. Option 2B, new characters are the main characters, and so that means the Ghostface trio will only have small appearances in the film. So, beginning of the movie, middle of the movie, and at the end, or they only have a 30-second cameo. Now, some people say they should kill off Dewey and or Gail in the opening scene to make an impact. I'm on forward with that, but not as the opening kill, but the first kill after the title card. Plus, if they were to get killed off anywhere in the film, I would be like,
when you're friends with Sidney, you die.
I want Kirby back, and I think it is actually happening. She posted on Twitter last week, I think. Yeah, and she had the Kirby look. I feel since it's going to be released in 2021, it would be 10 years later after Scream 4, which was basically 10 years after Scream 3. For the story, Kirby would be out of college and probably will have a job that has to do with horror. And I think this would be interesting. She's not really into horror anymore because of the real life tragedy in Scream 4. Her life became a horror movie. With the release of a new Stab movie, more on that later, Kirby's friends she met during the time skip are trying to get her to go. And Kirby still mentioning the opening kill from Scream 2. Kirby could be like, The possible chance of dying like those two college people in 1997 during the Stab 2 premiere? I don't think so. Kirby should have some PTSD, and this is what brings in Sidney, and that is having her help Kirby deal with her PTSD, seeing how Sidney had PTSD in Scream 3. Plus, Kirby should have a scar on her stomach from Charlie stabbing her, and every time she takes off her shirt, she can't help but look at it, and it reminds her of that fateful night. Don't get it twisted though. Kirby will still have a charming, beautiful self and love for horror movies, but she's developed. I really want there to be a mixture of Kirby and future Claire from the TV show Heroes, who Hayden also played. So Kirby would be more mature, and she tends to take things more seriously and not make Scream 5 a dark film, but Kirby has a boyfriend, and he's the comic relief, but he's going to be a developed character. You don't want him to be one-noted. Or it still follows Martha's children, but that extra padding of Gail and Dewey's parents won't be in it unless it's their funeral. And option 2C is it takes place somewhere else. The Ghostface trio, Kirby, and the Stab movies are only mentioned. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to reboot it or remake it. It could just take place somewhere else in the world. So I don't get why some people are saying that unless they don't want it to take place in this universe at all. Meaning the new movie takes place on Earth 2. A fresh start. New ideas. Scream 4 was about remakes, and what does Sidney say about remakes?
You forgot the first rule of remakes, Jill. Don't fuck with the original.
And Scream Season 3 was about reboots, and what did Beth say about reboots?
This here's a reboot, and reboots don't play by your rules. Because reboots suck.
I mean,
Seriously.
I'm tired of all these reads. 10 years ago, the only reads that existed were remakes and revivals. Now it's out of control. But let's continue. Number 3 is a reboot. Number 4, it's a remake. Number 5, it's a reimagining. And number 6 is the one I hate almost as much as I hate reboots and remakes. It's the ignoring some of the sequels. Think Terminator Dark Fate. That's supposed to be the true Terminator 3. But there's already a Terminator 3 called Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Halloween. I've still yet to see that movie, because I will never watch it. At least for a long time anyway. Because I want Halloween 9. I still am waiting for Halloween 9, ladies and gentlemen. Also, think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Do your thing, cuz.
Don't get me started. I just know when they do a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, they're going to do that. They may reboot it or remake it. But of course, I found a way to make it all connected. Watch my Freddy Krueger Part 7 idea in the description box. Now, I've seen this idea online, and that is, it should be a meta movie, meaning a movie within a movie. That way, Jamie Kennedy and Matthew Lillard could show up. I'm like, there already is a movie within another movie, and it's called Stab. So unless it's a movie within a movie within a movie, I don't see that working, and I don't want that either. To bring back Jamie Kennedy and Matthew Lillard and Skeet, you could say they replaced the actors from the original Stab movies. Luke Wilson played Billy, and Tori Spelling played Sidney, and Joey Garfield played Randy, so it could work. Take the Seed of Chucky approach. Imagine if Sidney met Nev Campbell. And on top of that, I want Scream 5 not only to be about that this time there are no rules, but it also talks about horror movies ignoring sequels. Now, let's back up and go back to Kirby for a second. 2021, in Scream 5, Kirby and her friends are going to see the new Stab movie. Stab, let's go back to the beginning. And it ignores every Stab movie after 2. And I would say there were 20 Stab movies before they started over. I know you're probably thinking, you're like, Giovanni, there were only 7 Stab movies by 2011 in Scream 4, but here's my reply back. You could say they started going straight to DVD One of the biggest killers, the main five, Chucky, started going straight to DVD. Stab 20, before they decided to ignore 18 sequels, it was in space. Stab 20, in space. And well, when horror movies go into space, that's when you know.
You die.
Leprechaun 4, in space, or Jason X, anyone? And even though it's not horror, Fast and Furious is next. That's going to space. Mark my words. I want to be clear, I still want the Scream TV shows to be canon. Scream seasons 1 and 2 is Stab the TV show. You know, check out the previous video. I mentioned more about that. And the only way for the actors to show up and meet the Ghostface trio, or Kirby, is if they play character versions of themselves. In Scream Season 3, those events actually happen. Like I said, gotta go back and watch the other Scream video for more. I really put a lot of work into that last video. That's why I keep saying it. Go back and watch it. 3 more things before I go, and that is number 1. I don't want the killer to be stupid. Yes, I want one killer this time. Or try something new and make there be 3 killers, 4, 5. That way there could be a Scream 6, 7, and so on. But let's just stick with one being the killer. I don't want the killer to reveal their plan or even have a motive. I mean, that was kind of what's going to happen in Scream 1. Is that Billy Stu wasn't going to have a motive. So, don't have the killer have a monologue speech at the end and not kill Sidney or Kirby or a new character. And if Sidney is the killer, because I would like that too, she could be like, I'm not going to give some monologue speech because if I do, I know I'm going to die. Second, on what I would like to mention before I go, is that I want them to bring back the Ghostface app. Anybody remember that? Ooh, bars. I want Roger Jackson to make new commands. They could have new commands from Scream 5 in there. Then if they do Scream 6, they could have an update. And think about how many pranks that could come from this. And thinking about it from the business side. How much money they can make from this. See? And third, if it's a sequel after 4, it better be called Scream 5. I don't want it to be called Scream Subtitle. For me, the title, not as important as the story, but it is still important because the title is one of the reasons on what's going to make me watch or not watch the movie. Go with what I've been seeing online, and that is have the 5 replace the S. For Scream 6, have the 6 replace the C. Even though I've seen people not like these options as well, but still. If it is Scream 5, but it's not called Scream 5, I'm gonna be freaking pissed at that as well. Ghostbusters Afterlife, anyone? It's Ghostbusters 3, but it's not called Ghostbusters 3. Come on. Just put the number in there. But yeah, that is my thoughts on Scream 5 finally being announced. Majority of people thinking about Scream 5. I'm thinking about Scream 5 6. Again, let's make Wes Craven proud. So, get your fingers up and say it with me.
Do you think it's over, Sidney? Do you?